You're live.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the village. Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
hmm
Come on, Jehovah, say it. Jehovah, you say it. I trust in you. In you. Say it, y'all. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. I trust. Say it. I trust. Show me how to do it, y'all. In you. I believe. Say it. Say it. I believe you. I trust. I trust. Come on. In you. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. Where y'all at? Come on. I trust in you. I believe, say it. I believe you are the God of miracles. You are the God of miracles. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of power. I believe, say it. I believe. I believe. I believe. Say it, y'all.
I believe.
I believe. Come on, let your big and heavy. Let's go. Somebody make some noise in here. Come on, catch it, Jehovah. I trust in you. In you. Oh Lord, say it. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. I trust in you. I believe, say it, everybody say it. I believe you. I trust in you. Oh Lord, y'all got your part over here. I can't hear you. Come on, say it. I trust. Say it. In you. I believe. Say it. I believe. You are the God of miracles. You are the God of miracles. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of wonder. You are the God.
Oh, can't hear you.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village Talk Show right here on so many outlets. So if you're not able to listen or tell a friend, we need you to tell a friend. You can listen to the Village on 92.1 GD Radio, Gospel JA in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, on the internet, right? You have all of those different outlets, right? Have all of those different outlets to listen to us and find out what's going on Facebook at Roderick F. Daly, at Dr. Joanne Bryant, at John L. Sampson, right? At the Village Talk Show, on YouTube at the Village Talk Show. So you have all of the different outlets, Andre Dolman, Sophia Willisey. All right. You can meet us right there at all every Thursday evening. And again, that's www.youtube.radio. I'm sorry, www.youtube.com channel that just type in the Village Talk Show and you can hear us. So we need your support out there to help share it with a friend, invite a friend, and then tell us what you want to talk about. You can email us at thevillageshow30@gmail.com. And at any point, you can call into the studio at 718-841-9980. Listen in on your radio at 515-605-5349 if you don't have the radio. So you have all of these channels that you can utilize to reach out to us and talk to us and let us know what is going on out there in the world. So how you doing, Dr. Bryant? How's everything going?
Going great. Going great. You know what? I'm grateful. Grateful, alive, and I'm healthy. That's it.
All right, stop giving political answers and tell us why you're great, why you're grateful. Stop giving up. Yeah,
Listen,
Andre said that you need to You need to come with it. Tell us what's going on, Dr. Bryant. Why are you so grateful? And don't give us the political answer
No, it's
that
not
God
political.
has given you another day. We know that God has given
You
you
know
another
what?
day.
You know
We're thankful. Tell us
Yeah.
exactly what's going on with you that
You know what?
why are you so excited?
I am upset at the fact that you think it's a political answer.
It is a political answer.
It is
What did
not.
you- okay, wait. Hold on. Let's think about what you just said. I said, how you doing? You
I'm
go,
doing great.
I am great. I am grateful. I'm thankful.
Mhm.
That's a political answer. That, like, don't ask me no questions.
No.
Yeah.
You know why I'm grateful? To be
Thank
honest
you.
with you.
That's what I want to hear.
I am in complete health. My kids are in complete health. You know, sound mind, and not having to deal with health issues. Um, I have a couple of close family friends who are going through cancer right now. So right now, being healthy, when I say, I'm doing great and I'm healthy, alive, or whatever, that is something to be, to appreciate, and not having to go through what they're going through. So it's not a political answer. It's my truth.
You see that answer? You see how you defended yourself right there? That's not a political answer. Now that's much, but don't you think so, Andre? That's a better answer, right?
Yeah, it was more extensive.
See what I'm saying?
What he
Huh?
said? What he said?
He said, yes, that's much better, more extensive than a
Mm.
little political cop-out answer.
It's not.
I'm great, don't bother
I
me.
keep
What?
telling you, it's not political.
No,
It's-
I know. Wait. You know, honestly,
Mhm.
sometimes when you speak, other people speak. Like sometimes when I speak, I'm just saying a general person answer, you speak within your norm.
Mhm.
And so when you speak within your norm, sometimes people look at it different from what it is. And it's kind of interesting because I bring up my wife in this conversation, right? I was talking to my wife. We went to Subways today. Today's chemo day, and she went with me because she had some questions, right?
Mhm.
And we were in the Subways to get the sandwich. And I was walking and I was saying something to her, and she said, "Stop yelling at me." Right? Why you got to be yelling? I'm like, I'm not yelling. Why do you think I'm yelling? I'm not yelling. Just like you felt like. So it took for her, in a way, to say to me, the street goes both ways, right? It took for her to say to me that my tone might sound like I'm yelling, even though I'm not trying to yell, but also at the same time for her to recognize that is how I speak, and that's also have to, scale back and not to think that I'm yelling. Just like in your answer, you might think that it wasn't political, but it could be perceived as political because it was, you didn't really, when the student, you're in class and the student gives you an answer and you have to dig further. You have to ask the why, the how, the because, to elaborate.
Right.
I think that's where that political piece comes in. I mean, I've been on the radio and television where people say, "Oh, your answer is so political," but it's not really that political. Sometimes it is political. I know, because you're trying to catch me to say something controversial.
Never that. Not you.
No, not you. Not you. Oh, you got jokes. You got jokes. All right. You're right. You got jokes. But I try to stay. I have some controversial stuff today. Trust me on this one. You best believe.
You're muted.
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening.
You
The
know,
producer said to shut up and he muted me.
you mentioned that you went to chemo. You look great. First
Thank
of all,
you. The doctor thought the nurse thought I got fatter.
that's a good thing. You're gaining weight.
Yeah,
Thank you for
but
that.
you know what happened though, right?
What is that?
So I have the port, right? And so they have to stick me with this needle about that long. Wait, I'm putting it
Okay.
about that long. The needle's about this long, and they got to put it through my port. Wait. Andre, is it inappropriate for me to show?
Yes, it is.
Show it.
It depends.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
No, it's not a bad thing. I can't take out the needles in my chest, but I want to show you.
You still have the needle in?
Yeah. So hold on, I'll just show you. So like, wait, right there. You see the bandage? Can you see the bandage?
I can see it.
All
Yeah.
right, so I have a port right there.
Okay.
So what they do is when I go to do my chemo, they take a needle about that long, and
Can't see your hand.
well, wait, I got to realize how the camera works,
Okay.
right? So I have to
Okay.
go to the left. So
Okay.
they take a needle about that long and they push it right through my chest, so I
Mhm.
can receive the medication.
Ooh.
So today, I guess because of the extra layer of fat, which is a good thing. So it's kind of funny. Like I
It
always say to my
can.
wife and to my friends, one of my expression is one man's trash is another man's garbage, right? Or vice, I mean another man's treasure, right? Or vice versa. So I use that a lot. So the fat, a lot of people say, oh, I want, I want to lose weight. I want to be less fat. I'm like, okay, I gained the fat. So it's a good thing that I gained the fat, but it's a bad thing when I have to take the stupid needle because now he has to go through a thicker piece of skin.
Layers. Mm.
So I was like, ah, I was like that little
Are you
baby.
right, baby?
Oh, I was today. And they had to stick me, they stuck me in the morning, right? They stuck me in the morning to get the needle in, right? The patient next to me go, oh, I felt that too. And then I wanted to check my sugar level when at the end of the day, but I was having a problem with the machine. So they had to hold the needle for a little bit, and then the blood clotted. So when the blood clot, they had to change the the needle. So they had to stick me again.
Mm.
So you know what I did, right?
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
No, I screamed. I screamed like a baby.
Let me ask you. I have a
Andre, there's some water in my bag. Can you just put it in here for me? Go ahead.
I well I
I'm
am
sorry,
happy
Andre.
to
There's some Ray and nephew in my bag. Can you put that in there for me, so I
please.
can share it with Joanne? Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead. You have to ask him what.
well,
Everybody knows I'm kidding, right? It's actually water. Here, see, literally. I know some people take everything I say seriously. It's water. It's water. It's a joke.
I'm looking at you and really you look great. You
I
look
thank you. I
really
thank you for that.
great, especially after going through chemo today.
Yeah.
And usually some days you will come in and you're totally. I know that you're not feeling well, but you don't even look like nothing. You
Right.
don't look like you did anything. So thank God for that.
Right.
Um, I have my hairdresser actually just started chemo,
Right.
and she's going through the process. So today was her second day. How
Right.
long did it take you? I know this is not, sorry, audience. I know this is not supposed to be part of it, but it just was something that came off the whip. How long did it take you to adjust, your body to adjust to
I,
chemo?
the first couple of months, thank you, Sophia. Sophia says it seemed like I need a hug after a rough day. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The first month um, of chemo. Well, okay. So I haven't spoken about this in a while, so I'm going to talk about it for just 2 seconds, right? So, I know I'm talking about it because I haven't spoken about it, not because for any other reason than that. All right, audience, you could chime in or whatever the case is. And what's interesting is that since that point, a lot of people have come forward to me and spoken to me, asked me questions privately about cancer, which so I am so pleased for that. Right, if not one purpose, at least that purpose I serve.
Right.
So what happened was, welcome, John. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, that's all right. I've been late a couple of times. I've been known to be late a couple of times. Don't worry about it. Not all the time. I was here before you today, right? So you can't say always, right? Because you're late. I'm early. I got
You
just want to make sure.
guys.
So the first time I did a whole bunch of treatment, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, I those of you who don't know the situation that I have, the cancer, the big C. And so Joanne is asking me some questions. I'm going to answer some of them. And some of you, we haven't spoken in a while, so I'm just reiterating. So the first month when I found out on it's kind of like crazy, right? You find out that you're sick and everything about that sickness comes into fruition. Prior to knowing that you were sick, you were fine, right? Which was kind of crazy, right? So I would once in a while, I would hang out. I would go out, hang out with my friends, maybe had a glass of wine or something like that. Yeah, once in a while. I mean, over dominoes or those things, right?
Really? Wine? Really?
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm keeping it clean.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. So I would have a glass of wine or some libation, and right, and call it a day. The day, December 4th, I found out that I have this illness, probably have this illness. December 11th was the final um diagnosis, right? And also the prognosis as well, right? On that day, I didn't even have any more libations, right? So the libations was out. Um
After December 11th, December
After the
4th.
7th. So I just like when people say, "Oh, you can't go cold turkey,"
Oh, yeah, you can.
oh, you can go to. I went cold turkey, right? Um, and then so I started all these regimens, right? So I started changing how I ate, how I did this, how I did that, whatever the case is. But the chemo, I was talking to a good friend of mine. I don't want to mention her name, who also was going through a cancer, not the same cancer, but a cancer as well. And we were talking about the regimen. So here's what happened. One, all of a sudden, I was regurgitating regularly. I took the chemo. I had to take extra shots. First, they started me off with Zofran to help with the nausea. After that, I went to something called Amperpitant or Imens. It's the, what do you call it? The generic, what, not the generic name. What do you call it? What name you call that? The regular name, when it's the you know, like Tylenol, but at Tylenol, the real thing is the brand, the local brand. They're like, you know, like your name is, my name is Roderick. Everybody call me Rudy. So Rudy is whatever. I forgot what the what you said. What did you say?
The real name for the
Well, the real name is like acetaminophen is
Right.
Tylenol, but they call it Tylenol as the brand name. I think you're right. I think it's his brand name. So then they switched me to the Imens, which was that. You know, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, cancer is not cheap. No, it's not. If you don't have good medical coverage, I want to say thank you to Obama. Making sure that now I'm saying that because without him, he put that pre-existing conditions.
Mm-hmm.
My mother had cancer. She had to take a booster shot. I had to pay every time she took a shot. I had to pay $1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Neulasta that I take, so I have to give myself an injection after the chemo,
right?
And it's called Neulasta. They gave me I forgot the name of some Fakasi one brand. The difference between the two, I was sick. My wife called back the doctor and said, what kind of crock is this? Right? And she really did. She had a fight with the doctor. That's why I love my wife, yo. She has everybody has whatever they do, but that's what she's good at. Mm-hmm. She will call up that doctor and the doctor's office or the insurance company, and she's like, yo, what are you doing to my husband? What kind of crap is that? So going back to your friend, these things are going to happen. So one, she better have good medical coverage. And if she doesn't have one, she needs to switch to one. So even though that new medical coverage might cost her $100 more a month, it's worth it. So one good healthcare to have is United Healthcare.
Okay.
They are very good. As educators, we normally have GHI.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As public service, civil servant, and they're good too. But United, let me give you a good example. Where my wallet at?
Just showing your stuff on.
No, relax, man. I'm just gonna talk. I'm not showing anything. So I have two health insurance. Hey, Alice says hi, John.
Hey, what's up, Alice?
Right. So let's read them, for example. So this is my United Healthcare, and this is my emblem. You can't see them, but I have them in my hand. Right. So let's put it like this. On my United Healthcare, my emblem health. Right. My copay for the doctor, that's just $30, right, John? My vision is diabetes. My vision is slow. That's $30, right? On the copay, right?
Copay.
Right here on this side.
No,
and you join the glasses.
$30 back.
Yeah, $30 to go see my PCP. So every time I go to my PCP, no, the specialist is $30. So every time I go to chemo and I go twice a month, it's $30. So that's $60 a month. That's 6 times 12. That's $720 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the doctor's visit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So on United Healthcare, I don't see it here. Do you see it here on this? I think it's on this side. On United Healthcare, it's significantly less, right? The hospital visit is
$30.
It's $30 also for the
Office
doctor?
visit, $30, yes.
For what?
Office $30, urgent care 75, ER 150.
All right, ER 150.
Right.
Right. So on my Emblem Health, ER is $300.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $150 savings right there.
Yeah.
The medication is also significantly different in price.
Mhm.
Most medication with United Healthcare is free.
Mhm.
With Emblem Health we pay more. But either way, those two are good insurance. So for your friend, make sure that if she has nausea, can ask me what medication to take, what's the better one,
Okay.
who's going through that, because nausea comes with the chemo, appetite comes with chemo. My doctor, Dr. Wang, is very good from all notes, right? I couldn't eat. He prescribed Megace, right? He prescribed Megace right away, so I was able to bring back some of the appetite, and stuff like that. So those of you, you have question, put it in the chat, call me, ask me, and I'll answer. So I don't want to be more grimy. I mean, not more grimy, more gloomy with what's going on, so we can move on because there are a couple of things that we need to talk about. So let's transition out.
Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. Thank you for taking
That's not, listen, our job here in the radio, what we say, we educate, right? So this is you're listening, watching, hearing, viewing the village. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any point, at any age, starting from today. Success is not just spoken, it is done. So thank you, Dr. Brian, for bringing that up, because that is all about success, right?
Mhm.
And health and your wellness. So, don't be afraid to call in and ask questions, even if you want to do it anonymously. Do that. Trust me, I've spoken to so many people who have had issues. I don't even know the number, and they call me up and they ask me a question, and I answer it to the best of my ability. So, I don't know if that helped to give them a day more above ground, or they would have gone the same time. It doesn't make a difference, but at the same time, you're giving yourself a chance at life. That's important. Talk about something crazy happened today. Andre, you never did reach out to Dr. Finlay, or did you? I think no. Okay. So in our community nearby, John, there was a shooting today on Flatbush, on Nostrand Avenue in Glenwood, where 4 people got shot.
Ooh.
Thank God, nothing life threatening. Some were taken to Kings County, which has a great trauma unit,
Mhm.
and some were taken to Maimonides. Right. One of my friend there, Radnice Bashat, who's a Brooklyn County leader, she sent out a message already on her Facebook, on her media page, to discuss the tragedies that are happening within our within our community our system. And that's kind of crazy, because it's literally in our backyard. I'm sure John goes to the junction, you go to junction, I definitely go to the junction. My kids go to camp over the summer at Brooklyn College, which is right there. And to see, and apparently they said the 4 men who got shot were targeted.
Remember, unfortunately, this month is initiation month for all the gangs. So you have to be more aware of your surroundings and also watch what's going on.
Yeah, we need to do that, especially when you got kids carrying guns to school.
Yeah,
Last couple of days or whatever, guns found in school, whether they're loaded or unloaded.
Yes,
But this is a common reoccurrence in our community every single day.
And I'm pissed off at that comment.
I know you.
I'm pissed off at the comment, not at you.
But no, I understand.
But I'm pissed off that we could actually think about the fact
it becomes a norm.
That it becomes a norm. It's like
becomes acceptable.
Exactly. And
behavior.
then we're becoming desensitized. And then, I'm sorry, Jamani, you're my boy. I love you. You're my boy. But when I hear about taking school safety,
not at all,
from schools, when I hear that conversation and the violence, and Jamani, I'm gonna take one of your words. I'm not coming at you, but I'm just saying, let's start rethinking what you're saying. One life is too many.
Yes, it is.
one life. I'd rather spend $5 million, $10 million, 20, how much ever it costs to keep the safety agents in the school,
Right.
than to lose a life.
That's true.
Because that life might be my relative, his relative, our relative. And all of a sudden, you're going to go back and say, I shouldn't have removed school safety. I think there's a way to work together with school safety, with the school counselors,
Mm-hmm.
with the psychologists,
Mm-hmm.
right? You understand what I'm saying?
But you know, it's if we're really going to talk about that, it's all about the professionalism that exists and to professionalize. You know, when we talk about our safety, you know, and this is something that we always want to take the easy road. You know, we talk about school safety and schools. And the bottom line is it's about safety. It's about safety and security for our kids and for those who are educating our children.
And not just that, but also the local community, right?
Of course,
Because around the schools.
and the local communities, but most of all the local businesses and those professionals who try to open businesses, create opportunities.
Exactly.
How can you create opportunities and open businesses when you have to worry about your safety on a day-to-day basis?
You always have to look out. You always have to look over your shoulder. You always, is this kid coming in? Because let me just say this, and because you bring up a good point about Black professionals, right? Or not even just Black professionals, period, right? And business owners. I think there's something Helen Weinstein brought up. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who are listening, if you know a business owner who has been in the district, in this district for over 50 years, let me know, because they will be honored and recognized, right? By the state.
Don't be honoring and recognizing with awards.
And money. We're talking about money. We also talking about money.
Exactly. It's about
and help to sustain them.
We want help to sustain. We don't want no more awards.
But we
don't want no awards.
Whoa. Those awards are important too.
No.
Give me the recognition. I
don't need the recognition. I need.
So let's go back to what we're talking about.
Let's
go back. I just want to make a shout out to that because I know that's important, and I know that's going to be our top.
No awards.
Awards alone.
Okay.
I'll put the word alone next to it. But in all seriousness, when you have a business next to a school, especially a high school or a middle school,
right,
you're scared.
Of course,
you're scared at opening and dismissal, and then you have the vagrants who are sitting when they're supposed to be in school and they're hanging out at your spot.
Right.
In one breath, my cup of coffee costs $1.50. So I need that sale. Right. In the next breath, safety.
Okay.
What's the balance?
You know what I'm going to say about that?
Safety.
You know what I'm going to say about that? I love what you said, Roderick, in regards to professionalism. Professionalism and why. If we treat people right, and we respect what they do, then overall we'll have people will give that respect back. So as we transition and we move on, we're going to introduce our first guest, who will talk about how to help young people focus on professionalism and how do we prepare young folks for professionalism in this world that we're living on, where shortcuts is the way and a lack of respect for what it is that we do. So let's introduce our first guest.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's
Denise. How are you?
Good. Hey,
how are you?
Welcome to this dynamic show, Roderick. All right, Roderick.
No. It's not that, Denise. It wasn't that. There was one point that I wanted to make. I'm sorry. I'm going to make the point and then I introduce you. I apologize for that. One of the issues that people have with the school safety, just going back to that, and we'll get back to the professionalism. And Denise, you can free to chime in as well as soon as I introduce you on that concept, is that they're lazy. That's an over
simple
reach for that. And I like to say, when it comes to school safety, people are lazy, not school safety. You have horrible politicians, horrible teachers, horrible school safety agents, horrible police officer. Look at George Floyd. You're going to tell George Floyd that the safety system is good? I mean, the police system is good.
Roger, but that all comes down to, I think Denise would agree, the lack of professionalism
There
But
you go.
it's more
that
than professional.
exists.
I think it has something
No,
with,
no,
some
no,
of
no,
the things
no.
that has to do with what Harold was discussing last week with systemic
Professionalism.
social injustices and racism. With that being said, right, and Denise, you can help us tackle that.
Mm.
If you want to, welcome to the village, Denise Kaigler.
Mhm.
Give us an opportunity, give us an opportunity, Miss Kaigler, for the village and our audience to know who you are. So just give us that brief introduction. I know there's another guest who's supposed to be joining you, but let's follow up from there.
No, that's fine. And he's not able to join, so you have just me tonight.
All right. All right.
So thank you for having me. So yes, so we're gonna talk about Black professionals and specifically Black Professionals Month. My background is that I am a business owner after 25 years in corporate, and I was one of the few Black professionals who was able to break through and get to the C-suite in corporate. So I worked in corporate holding, senior level, executive level roles. I was in Reebok, Adidas, Nintendo, Boston Scientific, among other large companies. And I left corporate about 6 years ago and started my own company, MDK Brand Management, where I focus on business consulting, brand strategy. I do personal branding workshops and e-coaching programs. I'm also a career coach. And it's interesting listening to the conversation because one of the reasons I left corporate to start my own company is because I've been traveling around the world with my job and meeting so many young people who were struggling and not really sure what to do about it. Didn't really have anyone who looked like them, who were in senior level roles or who could help them get to those senior level roles. And I felt like it was my responsibility, my obligation to take everything that I'd learned over my, 20 something years and pour that into these young people to help them understand what they need to do to break through, and some of the tools that they can embrace to help them define who they want to be, help them develop the leadership skills that they need to make it in corporate and survive in their jobs. There were so many people whom I met, and I thought, you know what, I need to do this. And it's been the most rewarding work I've ever done.
So tell us a little bit about your company itself, the name of it, repeat that. If I didn't hear it, so if you said it, you said it real fast. Like I always tell people, don't give me your phone number like you know it. I don't know it,
Right.
so therefore you need to tell me like I don't know it, right? So,
Right. So my company's MDK Brand Management. It's a branding and marketing firm. So I work with small businesses, nonprofits, and individuals to help them overcome challenges. If they have challenges with their personal brand, if they need the skills, the tools to help them develop so that they can achieve their professional goals. I offer e-coaching programs through my company, 3 e-coaching programs that cover the entire, if you will, ecosystem of a careerist, from career launch to career development to career advancement. I poured everything.
Denise, if I could just jump in for 1 second.
Yeah.
I see one thing that concerns me, and is always an issue, are the challenges. So maybe you can talk to us about some of the challenges that you have faced and those in businesses have faced, the prevalent challenges.
Among Black professionals in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Many, and Black professionals can learn to overcome them with the right tools for the most part, but it does take work. It does take making an investment in yourself. So some of the challenges, microaggressions in the workforce, folks coming up to people of color and asking or saying things like, "Oh, you're so articulate," and "Oh, well, you don't sound like
I
they
hated that when
sound."
people said that about me.
Absolutely.
Stereotype. Right.
Absolutely. "Oh, your
Like
hair."
what? Because I'm Black, I can't be articulate.
Well, that's the assumption. And
Yeah.
and I was somewhere yesterday,
I
and
hated that. I hate it when people describe me as intelligent and articulate.
and you
I
speak
hated
so
those.
well. You speak so beautifully. So And a lot of white professionals may or may not know that this is insulting.
Right.
It's infuriating.
No, I heard it from black people too. Don't get me wrong.
I
I heard
hear
it from
you.
both.
I hear you. Another issue is the difficulty Black professionals have in finding sponsors and
Mhm.
coaches and mentors, but mostly sponsors. And you need, and some people, a lot, like I had sponsors, I had coaches, I had mentors when I was in corporate. The challenge that we, particularly Black professionals, particularly face is finding sponsors who are willing to be very open and visible about their sponsorship of a Black professional. And doing my research, I found that the reason, which is interesting, the reason is because mostly white men who are in these high level roles are the ones who are sought after to sponsor people like, me as a young professional. And then my research found that white professionals, especially men, are reluctant to sponsor Black professionals, a lot of women, because they're not sure how it's going to look. And there might be an assumption, maybe,
Look, we're in their community. Look, where's this look?
they look at in the office, primarily in the office, like, why are they spending time together, like what's happening, and they're worried about what assumptions are being made about this sponsor and this person being seen together and working together.
Oh, the
So
relationship.
the relationship, is it personal, is it professional? That's what my research shows, that some white men are reluctant. Now, not all, because I had white male sponsors throughout my career, so not all, but
Don't worry. I'm one of those persons that don't use all never statements. I don't believe in,
right.
I believe we could speak in generalities, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
always.
because it's not, because it's
I like John over here. John believes in all. I'm joking.
And code shifting is another issue. The pressures of code shifting. Another word I call is conforming. When you're in the workforce,
Mhm.
do you wear your hair natural, or are you pressured into straightening it? So that it looks, and you conform more to what
Right.
more people in your office look like. Do you dress a certain way on the weekends that may be culturally more comfortable for you, but you tend not to dress that way in the office because it's not quite like, doesn't have the same look as other folks in the office? Do you have an accent that you would normally just freely speak with on your own personal time, but you hide it? You try to speak more like other people in your work environment. So that code shifting puts a lot of mental pressure on us, because we don't feel comfortable being who we are. When we don't feel comfortable being who we are in the workforce or in the workplace, we can't be as productive as we want to be.
That's
It's we want to make sure that we get a lot of the topics in, but you touched on a few points. I think even for Black males and Black women, they're afraid also to move up in white companies for for some of those reasons that you recognize, what does that look like for my company? What is the look if I have a Black person, male or female, at the head of my company, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have, like, when you really think about it, John and Denise and Dr. Brian, how many Black people are really at the helm, male or female, at the helm of Fortune 500 companies? And I think if I remember clearly, the percentage is less than 1%
less than 1% at the CEO position
level, right?
But the C-suite is not much better. It different.
I'm sorry, the what is not much better?
Below this, well, within the C-suite, within those executive
right. The
roles,
CFO, COO,
COO, CMO, CFO,
right.
and other senior and executive level roles, depending on
at the boardroom table.
At the boardroom table, depending on what survey you're looking at, it's between 3.2 and 5% of all of those roles held by people of color, by Black professionals in particular, which is just absurd and shameful on so many levels. It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
Well, you know what? It is absurd and shameful, but we as people of color, we are the number one consumers, and we fail to.
I was going to bring that up. That's part of my controversy
organize
today.
ourselves to understand the dynamics that we play in this economy. And our ability, if we choose to, can shut the economy down by just curtailing our spending patterns and directing it to who we want to patronize.
Right.
And it goes to the mindset that we have. You know, one thing, when you go to certain communities, especially here, and we look at Brooklyn, the circulation of money, in the Jewish community, in the Korean community, in the Asian community, even some Caribbean communities, the money continuously cycles, not 3, 4 times. We're talking about 30, 40 times. It generates within the community. And what happens is there's a spinoff. And that spinoff leads to development. And that development leads to more development. And then that development leads into an entire creation of a community that has not only the spending power, but the political power in order to influence those who have the dollars to basically provide economic opportunities for those communities. So one thing that we lack the wisdom to
Yes.
use our spending power in creative ways to enhance our overall wealth.
I want to add something to that, and then Denise, you can respond, and I don't know if Joanne has a comment to that.
I do.
The interesting thing, John, is that we rather oftentimes utilize an outside culture to do something on the inside. I don't want to go to the black plumber. I don't want to go to the black lawyer. I want to use the Jewish lawyer, the Jewish doctor, the this, the that. Like your religion makes you better, right? And so the black lawyer cannot do the job.
Or nationality.
Our nationality, right? And then I want to add one more thing. On the flip side of that, and I've come across this, it's like almost an expectation that you should use me because I am black and you're black. And so the level of professionalism is not there very often. So you get turned off. Like I bought the same lotion because now, because of, I want to thank God for the villagers and the village, right? Because now I'm actually more cognizant of what I do when I go outside. Like, am I really not supporting my black owned businesses, right? I really do think about that. But sometimes I will buy the same shirt, right? It's the same Hanes t-shirt. I go to the black store, I'm spending $4 or $5 more. And for me now, I'm also recognizing it's about the green, not about the black nor the white. It's literally about the green. How much money am I spending? How much money am I saving?
Hmm.
Go ahead. I don't know who wants to.
In the corporate, I'm reading Sophia's thing. In the corporate world, they keep the circle tight by hiring the recommendation from their peers, friends, and family. That, you know what? I don't
The
know.
Old Boys Network.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just the corporate world. I think it's overall business in general. You
It's
you find
familiarity. They
I think
whatever
it
they
goes back to what Harold said with this systemic racism.
It's comfort. It's we
familiarity. They're
right,
familiar.
it's
They're
comfort.
comfortable.
Yeah,
They're
they're
comfortable, but that's, you know what? That's fine because we do the same thing. We're comfortable, but sometimes when we are in those positions, we reach those suites in government where we're in positions of power. We need to change the dynamics and not
And
be
we're scared.
and not be afraid to change the dynamics.
right.
And by changing the dynamics, we're basically affecting not only one segment of the population, but the entire segment of the population, because they begin to look at us differently. The best example is, we have this mayoral race going on with Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa. And, Borough President Adams said one thing. He says, why can't we have public safety and at the same time making sure that we deal with those rogue individuals in our police department? You can have public safety and you can still protect your civil rights and your human rights. One is not exclusive over the others. And these are issues that we all can relate to. We always worry about, Denise. We talk about our differences a lot, but we have a lot of similarities.
Absolutely.
And once we break it down, but those who are in position of powers, who are sitting in these corporate suites, they need to be able to, you know, open up and convey to those people who you're around. The dynamics are different, and this
Mhm.
is what you need to think, and you must be considered, you
Mhm.
know. And it's always, you need to be in that position to make those decisions.
You
I,
know,
I wanted to
hold on,
piggyback off of.
Joanne.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to tie something in, like just address some of those things that we talked about. And then I feel like those are the some things that brought in why the Black Professional Month had started and why. I'm sorry, Joanne, you were saying something.
That's all right. I wanted to piggyback off of what John said. Denise, let me ask you a question. Working, I've worked in the corporate world as well, and I fully understand what it is that you mentioned, especially being the only Black female, the youngest. And then, you know, here it is, you're at a point where you're going against white men who been in the industry for a while, and here, you're young, you're just out of college, and you're getting paid. I was told you're getting paid the same amount as I am, and you just freshly came out of college.
Mm.
And what's interesting is
If that was really
opportunity.
true. If it was really true, sometimes they lie. It's just a fact.
Well, opportunities of internship or in getting into the corporate industry is not always available to Blacks. And you will find it more in predominantly all white schools or school who are nicely funded
Mm.
in order to get young professionals. Like Sophia mentioned, dad is working, as a judge or whatever, so hook them up. So do you find that to be still something that is very common?
It is a lack of an external network,
Mhm.
either no network at all, or a small network, or a network that doesn't include the people who you need to help you break in and rise through corporate. Black professionals suffer from not having that network. And
Right.
you alluded to this. These are the people who see us every day, who get to know us, so that when they're inside their workplaces and a job or an internship opportunity opens up, they'll go, "Oh yes, I know, so and so, because they go to whatever, a club or a church, or whatever the network situation is," and then they can recommend that person. And we Black professionals in general don't have access, or don't have those types of external networks. And
Mhm.
then even internal, we lack the access to senior executives. That's
Right.
another block, another factor that blocks our rise in corporate. So that when there is an opportunity for a higher level position that opens up, because we don't have access to executives, we're not top of mind. When that executive goes, "Oh, let me make a short list of people who we could reach out and have apply for this job," we're not top of mind when those opportunities come up, because we're not having lunch with that executive. We don't feel confident to pick up the phone, call the assistant, and say, "Hey, can I have lunch with Mr. Smith, Wednesday?" We lack of self-confidence is another thing that we struggle with. And so Black Professionals Month, that is one of the areas that we do work on.
And
You know,
when is Black Professional
It's
Month?
now, it's a month of October. It started October 1st and runs through October 31st. It is all virtual.
Okay, okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in, Roger.
I jumped in with you.
Um, do you find that more sororities and fraternities, you'll get more advantages as a Black professional if you are part of a sorority or a fraternity?
There's definitely that camaraderie, or that connection
Mhm.
that sororities have, and they protect, almost what you guys are talking about with Jewish communities and other communities. There's that connection with sororities. The key is to use those connections, and not just have them there, but pick up the phone and say, "Hey, do you know this person at this company, and can you help me get in?" That's something that other communities, other groups are very good at. I mean, they know to pick up the phone or email and say, hey, I saw this job open at this company. Do you know anyone who can help me get in? I mean, it really is about networking and taking advantage of the people within your network.
And you're Denise, you're right about that. And sometimes we tend to get caught up in personality differences
Yes.
between
Yes.
us, and not want to. We're afraid that that person may take what we have.
Ah,
So we need to be open, which we're not. We're very close minded when it comes with respect to that. To me, I always think of there's enough for everybody.
mhm.
And, in order to create a legacy for yourself, it's always good to try to promote those. You can't be afraid.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's fear. I am glad. I think it is fear. Yeah.
I was gonna, people get mad at me very often.
For buttoning all the time. Yeah, that's true.
No, I wasn't buttoning. I was going to continue. I was going to continue something that you said, Dr. Bryant. And people get very upset with me, and they call me an elitist when I make certain comments like these.
Hmm.
I say when you're going to if you have the qualifications to go to a college,
Mhm.
there's several things that you have to look at first. One of the first things you look at is the career development office.
Correct.
What
Mhm.
does that look like?
Hmm.
I say, what does the school's endowment look like?
Hmm.
When I say things like that, people are like, you sound like an elitist. What does that have to do? Oh, I'm comfortable. I'm gonna send my son. Barack Obama was president, not just because he's black, but also because he went to Yale and Columbia. I mean Princeton and Columbia. Not Princeton, Harvard and Columbia. Let's not he was able to break through the old boys network to get that far. That people fail to realize that.
Right.
When you look at, I went to Haverford College. I can make phone calls to different people because of that network. And then other people are looking at me to be able to break in. And John, and he was able to break into a certain level of politics, right? So I'm sure he gets those phone calls on a regular basis about how can I help you, right? Not how can I, but how John can help Roderick, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, because now people who are not in that network, because they're afraid to get in that network, don't recognize why I need to join a fraternity, why I need to join a sorority, why I need to be part of my school's alumni network and go to these alumni functions. I had a function for my college. It was at the Yale Club, right? It was at the Yale Club. Who goes to Yale? A lot of people who go to Yale are in the top echelon of companies, medical schools, law schools, this kind of school, that kind of school. So if I want to be where the money is, I got to go where the money is. If I want to go know where the information is, right, I got to do that. So going back to that and going back to the Black Professional Network, there was a need. There was a need, and not was.
There is a need.
There is a need. I didn't think of it. Dr. Bryant didn't think of it. John didn't think of it. Although I'm blaming John more, right? But in all seriousness, tell me what made you research, come up with, tell us about that. What was the origin? And then I have a couple questions. Well, either one of us have a couple questions about
Denise,
a few.
Denise really told us what the origin is.
No. I'm saying
she says the experiences that she witnessed while being in corporate America. She sees what was lacking, and
Right.
she and that is why she has created her own business to bring light to that, so she can enlighten us all and create the. Hold on, let me finish, brother. Before you, this is why you have this professional. This is what she's talking about. I'm here to enlighten you and give you the wisdom that you need.
But what I want from Dr.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
The wisdom that we need in order to create a network of businesses, professionalisms, so we can feed off of, so we can just. It can be a cycle that continues to grow and expand and master metastasize
Mm.
I don't like that
beyond
word. I don't like that word
beyond
metastasize.
beyond.
No,
You know, but I understand. No, I understand. You know,
he
I
knows why I don't
understand.
like the
I know
word.
exactly why. But it's you those virtual workshops
Mhm.
or those sessions that you do, Denise. They are they providing us with food, the wisdom that we need in order to, so
Did you
we
say
can
food?
food for
Oh, not food.
thought.
Yes, food for
Food for-
thought.
No,
So
I
Denise,
I
Denise,
agree
you know
with.
what? Give it, what are workshops? What are workshops you got going
That's
on,
what
Denise?
that's what I wanted. That's what I'm trying to get at. You said all that thing to get to what I'm trying to get at. Let's talk about
I just
the
wanted to prevent you from jumping in. That's all.
the need. No, but that's exactly what I wanted to talk. I know that you saw a need, right? And
Mhm.
there's a need to develop, right? To
Right.
develop. But my big thing is, this is the first time I'm hearing it, right? And again, I use it as educated, as articulate, as intelligent as I am, right? In other people's eyes. This is the first time I'm hearing it. So that's what I'm saying. The need, the growth, the expansion, the look. I coming on the village, just that's one way. But what are you John talked about it, which is what I was trying to get at. What let's get it out there. And then you could tie in, like I was saying, like the Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Jackson Ward, you know, I hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, the Haiti community in Durham, North Carolina. So tie that in. You get what I'm saying? If that's so exactly what John is talking about is the same thing.
Yeah.
He
So
just interrupted me.
so so let me so Black Professionals Month. So it's never been done before. It is brand new. It's held, as I mentioned, in October. So this is the first annual Black Professionals Month. And
Nice.
it was the
So
vision
this is an
of,
inaugural.
so this is, so it's never, so you hadn't heard of it,
Big
but
up, Denise. Big up.
he was, yeah, it's never been done before. So it is a massive undertaking. We have about 50 or 60 online virtual sessions, about 50 plus speakers who are Black leaders around the world. We have people who have their own businesses, people who are in corporate, and they've dedicated and donated their time to come in and lead these sessions for the Black professional attendees who are there. We have sessions from about legal and finance and marketing and personal branding and career coaching, which I am doing a 4-week session on that, about Black generating and sustaining Black wealth. And then we also have wine down sessions about wine and art, golf.
I love wine.
Well, so do I. So the sessions range. I mean, it's a wide range of sessions. But I want to touch on something you mentioned. So yes, Black Professionals Month. There is a need for a program like this, an initiative like this. And what got me involved when Jerome Hutchinson came to me and asked me to get involved and then partner with him and found it with him because we had to pull it together. I want to do my own research. And that's when I researched and saw some of the statistics, because when I was in corporate, yes, it was bad. And I was the only one sitting at that table who looked like me. And I could tell you so many stories about some challenges I faced. But it was just sobering to see the statistics. And despite, and you guys are hearing it, all the DEI programs and money and resources and dedication and
And the
commitment,
MWBE.
the needle hasn't moved much, if at all, over 10 years. We have not made much progress despite all of the reported investments in this area. It's not making a dent in this. And
Right.
so we need to figure out, okay, what's going on? One of the things I want to touch on that you guys said a few minutes ago is the need for us, for Black professionals, for Black people, to understand that this takes work. You can't just sit back and let it happen. You have to make it happen. And
Right.
that takes time, it takes money, it takes commitment and dedication. And that's what we're hoping that people recognize when not only for Black Professionals Month, but in general when they're looking to advance in their careers.
Denise, I think one of the profound examples of that lack of professionalism in what you are doing would have been very helpful during this COVID period of time when a lot of these businesses went out of business, and their inability to get some of the PPP, I think PPE money, that the government was providing, because a lot of these small minority-owned businesses did not have the finances, did not have the financial paperwork in order to go to these institutions
Yeah.
to get the funding that was necessary for them to continue in their existence. So that's something that we really truly need to work on, is your books, being able to get the accountant, get the lawyer, just, get those books tight.
Yeah.
Stop trying to cut corners sometimes. You cut
But
too many
sometimes you
corners.
have to cut
No, I
corners
know,
because you can't go to these financial
but
institutions and
but
get the money.
but I think Denise, what Denise is saying, which is also important, is that you have to look at, like she said, you have these workshops. I think she said, what, 60? About 60. And then you have to go to things like these to get the wealth of information to know
Right.
where to, not that you can't cut corners, because I think a lot of businesses cut corners, but where to cut those corners. You
And
get what I'm saying?
also
And
to
sometimes
have
they don't
somebody
know.
work with you.
Huh?
Having someone who's been through it to work with you, to guide you. That's important because
Right.
many times we think, hey, we're going to open up a business and it's going to work like that. No, you need a mentor. You
Right.
need someone to shadow. You need someone to say,
Exactly.
I don't think I should be going that route or whatever. And people don't understand the importance of having a mentor because it will
Absolutely.
spare you headaches in advance and it will showcase, show you where to go, what not to do,
Mhm.
and avoiding the pitfalls.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you, you,
And you touch on something, not just any mentor, but someone who's been where you want to go. And
Exactly.
and that's why when people look at me and they say, "Oh, you're a career coach." Oh, you. There's so many coaches out there, and
Mhm.
there are, and I'm a career coach. But what I say to them, what differentiates me from a lot of other coaches is I've done what you want to do. I've
Exactly.
been where you want to go. I can help you clear out those bombs that are waiting to explode in your face. I know where they are. I'm going to help you figure out if not to diffuse them, to mitigate the harm that they could cause you. Like I know what's out there. And so my career coaching programs I offer through MDK Brand Management, it goes through that whole process because I want to help, especially professionals who are ambitious, who want to achieve, who want to do something with their careers, Black professionals, other professionals. That's a differentiating factor that I bring to the table, exactly what you said.
Right.
you know, they, there are a couple of things that worries me, and I'm gonna give a. Hopefully, I'm gonna cut the story short, but I'm gonna give you this story. One, and it starts out with a crab in the barrel conversation, right? That crab in the barrel, whether it's a myth or reality,
Reality.
right? I had a conversation
Lord.
a couple of years ago with a person,
Mm.
and my wife and I went to the person. We said, my wife is an accountant, and I'm a school administrator, so we don't have the time for that. But my wife, being an accountant, obviously knows numbers and money. She's a tax law, not a lawyer. She's not a lawyer, but she's in taxation, that part of accounting, what to do. She works high ranking person in a major company, right? I'm a school administrator, therefore I know schools and know whatever. We went to a person and we say, you know what, we can't really do this, but let's partner together and open a business, an after school leading into a school. Oh, I don't want your help. I want to do it on my own.
Fine. That's cool.
That's not cool, right? That can't be cool,
Right.
Why not?
because at the end of the day, one, you don't have the knowledge. Two, you don't have the money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you lack two major resources, right? But you're just starting out, so you have guidance, and you got financial help, and you have somebody with, and then immediately, right? And it goes back to what Joanne said, right? There, why are we so? And then Joanne talked about it. I spoke about it. You're speaking about it. Why are people included in this situation afraid to seek help until you're desperate?
Mm.
And that's, I think that makes the Black Professional Month even more relevant.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I don't know. I think part of it is fear, but I also think part of it is we don't know where to look. we don't, which is why one of the reasons why Black Professionals Month was created, because we brought together in one platform all these professionals who cover so many different areas. And so, one, they may not know where to look. I do think part of it is fear. But let me just highlight something that is actually a really good statistic, which is that Black professionals in general are more ambitious than our white counterparts. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like 65 to 53%, something like that, as far as ambitious Black professionals compared to the ambitious or ambition level of white professionals. We are ambitious. The
Right.
challenge is that we want to do this, but we're not sure what to do, where to go, how to break through these barriers. And to your point earlier, we have to get over that fear to look and ask for help. We just do. I didn't get to the C-suite. I was a chief marketing officer, chief communications officer, an SVP, a VP. I worked with Jay-Z and Pharrell and 50 Cent and Allen Iverson and Venus. I grew up poor in Southeast DC, this poor, shy introvert. I was so shy that I would literally cry in my school, my class. I would cry when a teacher would call on me and to answer a question because I was so afraid to speak in public. So here you have this shy introvert who would cry in class. I was bullied. I was beaten up almost every day after school, who somehow made it through these multi-billion-dollar companies, broke through the glass ceiling, made it to the C-suite. Now I own my own company. Well, how did that happen? Because I sought out resources. I asked for help. I knew I couldn't do it by myself. That's the only reason I got to where I am. I asked for help.
I
I used to
want
be
to
like
ask,
that too. I got beat up and all that too.
I want to ask a couple of things. So, have you come across asking for help, but having to go through a power struggle with those that you ask help for? Where it's a form of, hey, you want to, like you mentioned earlier, you want to take over my role,
Mm.
or, insecurity from others that you ask help for. How do you deal with that?
I didn't have, well, some form of that, but the biggest issue I had in corporate was when the CEO of the company took me on and he became my sponsor. What I was blowback on me because people were upset that I had the CEO as my sponsor, whether it was jealousy or envy. There were certain people in the company who tried to make my life miserable. And I
Mhm.
mean, it was awful. One time we were in the boardroom. I'll never forget. We were in the boardroom. I was the only person of color.
Mhm.
There was maybe one or two other women. There were probably maybe 15 people. And one of the white executives accused me of lying, something I had just said. And he called me a liar in front of everyone in that room. I did not have the proof with me in that room to show him that what I was doing was telling what I was saying was the truth. I was so furious and so upset that I could not defend myself in that meeting at the time. Of course, everyone's like looking at me. So I went back to my office. I found an email that proved what I said was true. I forwarded the email to everyone around in that room. Do you think anybody, first of all, do you think the person who called me a liar even said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Denise, you're right"?
So,
Or not only did he not acknowledge it, no one else on that email trail chain who was in that meeting acknowledged that I had been telling the truth. No one. So that was devastating because I thought, okay, well, who's got my back?
hmm,
Who's got my back
right.
in this environment? And that's what stops a lot of Black professionals from wanting to. You mentioned, do we want these top roles? When we're at the top, the knives come out. So we have to make sure that we have the armor to protect ourselves from
Right.
those knives that are coming at us. And that is an awful position to be in. It's an awful position. And I was in it, and it's terrible. But you have to have
But
the mindset, and you have to have the confidence and the strength, the inner strength to deal with it.
that's why, Denise, that's why you created this Black Professional Month, because you experience those things. You don't want others to experience it. What you want to do is you want to give us the armor that is needed for us to deal with those circumstances and situations which arise. So that's why it's important that we have such a inaugural beginning this month of October. And
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you. I know we all appreciate you, and I think going forward, we would like to stay in touch because this is something that I think whoever, the next administration in the city needs to have a person or be in contact with persons like yourself, so we can get some sponsors for you, so we can really make this. We still do, I think, to a certain extent, the Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
in which which things were done that you were talking about.
Mm.
We have the Chamber of Commerce here in Brooklyn, and but I think what you are doing, we need to. This can't only be 1 month. This is something that needs to happen every single day because we need your help every day.
Well, absolutely. And that's what the extension of that is through Hutch's company, ICABA, my company, MDK Brand Management. We want people to go from Black Professionals Month and utilize the resources that my company, I have a book behind me. My book, I wrote $40 and a brand there. It's an interactive book. There are exercises and activities to help people, build their brand, define their brand so they can break through. It's called $40 in a Brand, How to Overcome Challenges, Defy the Odds, and Live Your Awesomeness. And it's based on a lot of the challenges that I faced, both as a youngster, as an adolescent, as a young adult through my career.
We have a couple of minutes left, so I just want to. I'm going to throw some questions at you.
Okay.
So like when you in church, to say popcorn testimony.
Before you do that, read our comment.
No, that's part of the popcorn.
All right.
Right. So the first one is from Sophia. Do you have a workshops online? How do people get access to that?
So Black Professionals Month or my workshops for my company?
Your workshops.
Either one or both.
Both.
So my company, yes. So my company, MDK Brand Management, I do offer online career coaching. So I have workshops. If you go to mdkbrandmanagement.com, although my website is being updated and it's supposed to go live tomorrow night, and then it'll be very easy to find my career coaching workshops, but they're on there now. So I offer 3 career coaching workshops through my company, 2 or 4-week sessions. My signature program is called Mainstream to Top Tier, and it's a 10-week program that includes 5 online modules and 5 live career coaching sessions with me.
Wait. Can you break
again,
down
Audrey?
what this career?
He said double check the
coaching
what he put online there. MDK Brand Management.
MDKbrandmanagement.com. That's my website. MDKbrandmanagement.com is my website. And a new one launches, I think tomorrow night, they're launching my new site.
No, everything's here. Yeah. She said. All right. The
So
next popcorn question is, where have you advertised this professional month? I know you're on the radio right now. Where can people go to find out about it? There may be a website or whatever the case is. How has it been on the news, Channel 7, Channel this, along with the Village Talk Show? Where has it been?
We have had so much. It was in Essence Magazine last week, a week before. We were in Essence Magazine. We were on the CBS affiliate in Boston, the NBC affiliate in Nashville, the Business Journal, Florida Business Journal, I think it's called. We've done a ton of podcasts, radio interviews, but blackprofessionalsmonth.com is the website. And you go to that. It has a very comprehensive calendar of all the speakers and the sessions, and you can register through blackprofessionalsmonth.com. A lot of information. And the last day is the 31st. It's only the month of October. We have a DEI conference and awards program on October 30th from 10 to 2. So we've got some speakers that are going to be presenting at a panel, 2 panels, and then we have a conference and awards program. I think is 12:30 to 2.
So I have 2 people that I think that I would like to introduce to. So you have to remember to ask Andre to contact me. One is the Inclusivity Project, which helps businesses, especially Black. They're looking for Black-owned businesses to provide resources to help them to start that business. That's one.
Oh, for my company, because I do. So business consulting is what my company does.
Right, so,
I love doing that.
So you're going to if you don't reach out to Andre doesn't contact me, then I know you didn't reach out to him. So I'm going to put you on that spot, right?
Wait a minute. Am I doing something right now, you mean?
Andre said he'll reach out. So, all right, let me keep going. The
Okay.
workshops, are they free or at a cost?
Okay, which Black Professionals Month or my company?
I talk about both of them. You're on the air.
Okay, so Black Professionals Month is there is a day pass for $49. And there is the executive pass, which we just reduced the price to $99.
And
And that
tell me the executive pass.
so the executive price is $99.
Executive pass. What is it?
Executive pass is $99, and that gives you access to, even though it's towards the end of the month, everything is recorded. All the sessions have been recorded, so they're available. So let's say if you sign up tomorrow and you join for $99, you would still get access to those recordings, including my 4-session career advancement workshop and our Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who's a fantastic guy. He's an author of Think and Grow Rich. He has a 4-week workshop that he's conducting. So that executive price at $99 gives you access to those 2 premier programs, we're calling it, as well as all the sessions.
Nice.
And then my workshops they range from $497 up to $2,500 for the 10-week program, which is a steal. When you talk about, when I go into corporate as my company and I do live workshops with big corporations, I charge $4,000, $5,000 an hour. And so I'm doing this 10-week workshop for $2,500, but I also offer scholarships. So depending on who's registering, I do offer scholarships.
Sponsorship, you talk about the lack of or minimal. Are you at liberty to say who have been some of your key sponsors?
Yes, we've had a bunch of sponsors for Black Professionals Month: TD Bank, PNC, MeisterTask, BizHack, the Boston Chamber of Commerce, Comcast, and I'm probably missing some Yum Brands. So, and we have several more, but those are the big, in my company, MDK Brand Management, Hutch's company, ICABA World Network. So we've had great sponsors. And what's great about the sponsors coming in is, you guys know, it's the first year. So we had you guys know this, they look for analytics. They want data. How many people, and we had none because we'd never done it before. And these guys came in, they said, you know what, we love what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We want to be part of this. So we are so grateful to all the sponsors.
And I have to give you credit in regards to the data that you're constantly bringing back. Hey, based on my research on this, I'm a research person. So this is why this is important, or why this is important, and why we're using this. So kudos to you for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Don't worry. On the village, we use data a lot. Trust me.
Yeah, I like it too.
What's your feeling over the last 3 weeks? What's your disappointment? What's your you're like yay, and what's your I really wish.
My yay is the
what does it call in education? We call it growth. No, we say growth and glows and grows. Glows and grows. That's what we say in education.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so which one am I doing first? Glows.
Let's do the grows first and do positive. Don't forget, you never spoke about Tulsa nor Jackson. If you want to throw that in.
Oh, the Black Washington. So okay. So
do that first and then go back to the glows and finish with the glows and grows.
So when I think about those areas, Black Wall Streets, the first thing I think about is lifting as we rise. So we look at these areas and we say, these are areas, they're aspirational. These are areas, the people in these areas, the Black professionals who are managing these areas, who are making these areas even possible, are inspirational and they're aspirational, and we need them. We need to talk about this more. I know growing up, I didn't know about all of this growing up. We need to educate Black professionals about the history, about the current, and about the present, so that they know what it is that they want, and they have something tangible to look at, something tangible to hold on to reach for. And having those stories, having those experiences, it makes it real for us. And now those are the stories that we need to keep telling each other, telling our youth, our young people, and exposing them to this. So there's a chapter in my book, just quickly, sort of related, in my book with Prince, because I went to Paisley Park years ago. Mm-hmm. And because Prince gave a lot of credit to the NNPA, the National Newspapers Publishers Association, because when he was nobody, they made him. They were the ones who covered him when no one else had wanted to have anything to do with him, because he was a nobody. Mm-hmm. And so Prince opened up his home to the NNPA. I was at Reebok at the time, and we went in and we were treated to a performance by, and it's, gosh, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Mavis Staples,
Yes.
who was fabulous. My point is I wrote a chapter in my book called Lift as We Rise, because when I think about the Black Wall Streets, and I think about people like Prince, who didn't forget their history, who always gave back, who made sure people understood that other people should be giving back, and
Right.
and educating others about what they went through to get where they are. And there's so much to learn from those stories. So much to learn from those stories.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's important because as a mentor, that's how you think. You know, hey, I'm going to share my knowledge and I'm going to keep passing it on.
Right.
But
Exactly.
definitely.
And Black wealth. I mean, we are, and that's one of the goals of Black Professionals Month. We have 3 objectives: increase collaboration, increase our leadership, proportionate leadership, and help generate sustained
Generational
wealth.
wealth. Mhm.
Help generate that wealth among Black communities and Black professionals.
That's awesome.
And you, so let's finish up with your grows, and then lastly your glows.
So my growth, so what I would like to see more of is more participation among Black professionals, and that's why getting out, because once people hear about it, we've been getting out and talking about it. I think that the virtual platform, I think people are zoomed out and they're tired of virtual platforms.
True.
And they want to do something live and in person.
Yes.
So I think that's been a challenge for us to have to do this virtually because of everything going on. When Hutch and I first sat down to talk about it, we were hoping to be able to do it live in Miami. But with everything, and then everything started going bad again, started going the opposite direction. So we had to quickly change. So I think that impacted our attendance, but we have had really good, strong attendance. I would like it to have been stronger. I would like to have been able to do it in person. The glows are that the feedback has been tremendous. I mean, we are constantly, Hutch and I, are getting so many positive feedback from the attendees. The sessions, the speakers have been fantastic. The sponsors I mentioned. So it's been so rewarding. It's been incredibly rewarding. I'm meeting so many people, and people are so grateful that this platform was created.
Where are you stationed? Where's your home?
I'm in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in cold country, Boston.
Well, you should
You
come
guys
to
are
New
in
York and have your
Northeast.
yeah, come and have your function here. You know,
And
we
by
would
the way, it's no colder in New York
I
than
know,
it is in
right?
Boston.
Hey,
I went to
hey,
school in
hey,
Massachusetts.
Denise.
Oh, you did?
It
I
is
was just there this
cold.
weekend.
It is colder in
Denise,
Boston.
I
We're
just
not
want to
going
let
there.
you
We're not
know that we beat your Boston Celtics last night.
Did we?
No, but
I'll
it
let
was
you
double
know.
overtime though. We didn't just roll
We
over.
don't care how many overtimes.
We
But-
didn't roll over.
It doesn't matter what you did. You
That's
lost.
true. That's true. It wasn't a W. It wasn't a W. It was an L.
Denise, it's unfortunate.
And the
that
Nets lost the other night, so they didn't care. It didn't
your-
care that they only lost by 14.
Your
They
Red
lost.
Sox may be losing tonight too.
I actually I want Boston to win.
You want Boston? What? I love me some Celtics. I'm not a baseball person, even though I grew up in sports. I've worked in the sports industry between Adidas and Reebok for 17 years.
Tom Brady fan? You a Tom Brady fan?
I'm a fan of his 40-year-old body being able
44.
to do what it's 44. Okay, being able to do what it's doing. I mean, I'm a definite fan.
No, I'm just telling you that he's old. That he's give him more credit. 40, 44.
44. I mean, that's amazing.
He's such a hater. He is such a he can't just
No,
leave
but wait, it's not a hater. That wasn't a hater. That's actually a compliment. Drew Brees was 40. He's 44 years old.
I do love me some football, though. I love me some. I'm one of those women on Sunday afternoons. Don't bother me. I'm watching football. But unfortunately, my boyfriend's the same way. So we're that's where we are watching football.
It sounds like my wife. At least I don't. The only problem is she liked the Eagles.
I like most of the teams. I mean, I really do. It's just
Like
I
the
just want a
Eagles
good.
'cause
But I want a good game. That's where I am. I just want a good game. Yeah. So I would love to come to New York. I would love to come to New York.
You're welcome. Just let us know when you're coming in.
Okay.
All right. Joe?
We want to thank you. How, again, please share with our audience, where can they reach you? How can they reach you? How
Yeah.
can they sign up? And thank you for coming out and sharing this wonderful, wonderful month that you have incorporated. And next year we look forward in participating, hey,
And partnering.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so much fun. This has been really fun. I appreciate it. I
John
appreciate
is the crazy one.
it. No, I love it. I
And
love
can
it.
you
I
guess who
appreciate
the
it.
talker is? Huh.
Huh? What did he say? What did he say, Joe?
The talker, the
Oh,
storyteller.
the interrupter. Get it right.
Anyone can email me at mdkbrandmanagement@gmail.com. mdkbrandmanagement@gmail.com. You can email me, and I love email, and I respond to all the email.
It's very sad, but recently, I've been so bad at emails. It's horrible. I'm so bad at myself. Denise, the pleasure was all mine, and
Yes.
thank you for
The
enlightening
pleasure was all ours, Denise.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you have enlightened us significantly on the importance of Black Professional Month, which is so needed,
Yes.
and recognize. We have that unfortunate 28-day month where they recognize Black history, such a short month, and our history is so long, and what our people have done has been so great, and to see that you and Jerome have taken the time out to establish Black Professional Month, because Joanne, Dr. Bryant, John Sampson, and we speak so much about legacy and generational wealth and what that looks like. I know you didn't touch on like life insurance and the importance of that as well, but I'm sure that's something that's important to develop the conversation around generational wealth.
Yes.
And so, our ardent villagers, notice out there, and Denise can attest to the fact that this is the first time we're having a real conversation. And so with that being said, right, we all on the same page, the importance of Black growth, Black pride. And it's not any way different from saying we're not against any other culture, any other race. I want to make sure that's for full disclosure, but we're here to make ourselves better. And so if you're not jumping on the opportunity, it's not because of Denise, it's not because of John, and it's not because of Joanne.
As Radio Raheem would say, fight the power.
Exactly. And again, Denise, is a pleasure and good luck. Hopefully I have an opportunity over the next day or two to pop in, to maybe you could let me know how I could pop in, maybe to a session or two, and come back and give a feedback to our audience next week. As it culminates the following Monday. I think that's the 31st. No, that's not the 31st. Sunday. Following Sunday.
So we have one more week. One more week. Followers.
All right. So God bless and thank you. And thank you for joining us on the village.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, Joanne, it is so important. We talk about that all the time. The importance of creating, like a lot of us have we have business ideas, we have growth ideas, but we don't follow through. Right? And what is the impediments that we're having that is causing us not to follow through? Maurice asked, can we say we don't know where to find?
Can't say we don't know where to find help with the advancement after this interview.
And people are still going to say that though, Maurice. And that's what we're talking about. We mentioned a lot of things. And you know what part of the issue is? The part of the issue, John and Maurice and everybody else, the villagers, is the follow through. The definite follow through. Why aren't we following through with some of these information? And then why are we always talking about, myself included, because I did it, but I think my reasoning for doing it was a little bit different. The other side can do it, but we can't. That's not true. You mentioned something, John, that's so important, and I say it all the time. And Andre, please pull up the numbers. Our wealth versus our expense as a consumer versus a producer, right? And why is it, as you said earlier, the monies stay in other communities.
Hmm.
And I'm speaking about this not, I'm speaking about this as a black man, right? And our audience, black, white, whatever, can chime in. What is your thought on it? Male or female? Why is it that monies cannot stay and grow within our community at the same level that it stays and grow in other communities? Explain. If you know anybody out there from a different ethnic group want to talk about that, do that so that there can be a real dialogue, a real understanding about what is exactly going on.
You know, it's a great question that you ask. And when you think of different nationalities and cultures, um, especially with immigrants, will come in and will build something. We'll all live in one home until eventually, um, you know, not all immigrants are like that, but certain cultures, they'll all live 30, 40 people together. They'll save their money and then purchase, but not everyone want independence. Many,
Everyone wants to say I could do it on my own.
exactly. So the
And
power
why is that?
of collectiveness and just working, collaboration and community is gone. It's more me, 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 and I can do it on my own than we. We
So,
can do this together.
John, you have met and come across a lot more people than we have. Maybe you've known together the amount of people that Joanne and I have known. What are some of the responses that you have gotten over the years?
For
Why one group is more advanced than another group?
one, cohesiveness, fear, lack of access to capital, funds that are needed to continue their existence, uh, inability to put the infrastructure together in your businesses so you can avoid some of the pitfalls of
Mhm.
not paying taxes, not paying sales taxes, not paying whatever the rate of minimum wage exists. So just trying to really cut corners. Best example is I look at the van drivers that drive up and down our streets and their inability to organize, the competition that exists with them amongst themselves. That's a crab in the barrel concept instead of just organizing themselves. So that's on other local levels. And as Maurice said, which you might read because your laptop's in my way, um, it's imitation of grown within our community has been
Intimidation.
intimidation of growth within our community has been taught. I would disagree. I would disagree with that.
I don't know.
No,
I actually,
what intimidation that exists? Well, we have the spending power. We have the spending power. We have the money that we can create, but we don't utilize it in ways that needs to be utilized.
Wait,
this is
wait,
what
hold
I
on,
did
Maurice.
with
Do me
you.
a favor. Hold on, Dr.
Hold on,
Ryan.
let me hold
No,
on, hold on,
not
hold on,
interrupt.
hold on,
Not
Doc.
interrupt.
Hold
I'm
on,
not
let me get.
interrupting like that. I'm just asking him to maybe change your preposition because intimidation of grown. Is it? Are you saying intimidation have grown? Just change that.
We don't need to change. Doctor and I know what we're talking about.
Okay, no
Go ahead,
problem.
Doc. What were you challenging? What
So
did you?
intimidation and growing in the community. First of all, it takes parents who will educate their children and a community who will educate each other to say, hey, you know what? You guys can be business owners. You guys don't have to constantly. So I would say it's all about the background. Because if I'm a store owner, I'm going to push my children, hey, you know what? You can own, you're going to be a business owner. You're going to, so the mindset has to change as well. Hey, you're going to spend money in this. But if we're not teaching that and we're not um training, hey, you know what? Every dollar that you get, you don't have to go to McDonald's to go and spend, or changing that pattern, then we're not going to get
You know what? I perhaps agree with you because when I was a young lad, one thing they did teach us, I remember, was East New York Savings Bank on Rockaway Parkway near Kings Highway. There was a bank. We had our bank books in school, and we would have to deposit our money into the bank and create a bank account to save money. And financial literacy
Mhm.
is lacking in our schools. And
Absolutely.
then they had the Wall Street projects, where some of our kids, young kids, would basically be mock traders and trade and
You,
and
you,
and, and, and learn about the market.
a couple of things that I've tried to do in a couple of my schools, and some of it successful, some of that, and at home.
Mhm.
My wife, and I thank her for that. Right, she made every single one of every single child, all 5 boys have a bank account.
Mm.
My 6-year-old has a bank account, his own bank account.
Mhm.
Right, that money goes into that bank account every pay period from 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 their parents, right?
Right.
I also sometimes review the assets for the older ones,
Right.
so they see how to come by and what conversation to have. Like, I've already told my 19-year-olds that I'm kicking you out of my house at 25. That's when you're leaving. And when you leave at 25, you're leaving with your own house. You're not going to an apartment. You're going to your own house. So you're staying at home the first four. If you choose to leave, you choose to leave. But know that if you choose to leave, you're not coming back.
Mhm.
But you're staying in my house until you're 25, and you're growing that account so that when you leave, you're able to make that down payment on the house with the help of your parents. Right?
Okay.
That's what you're going to do. So the conversation, when you
Mhm.
talk about the saves account at East New York Saving Bank, the conversation, the dialogue is different, and it's no breed of money. But if you have a child, your child is born today,
Mhm.
October, whatever date it is,
Mhm.
2021,
Mhm.
and you start a bank account with $10
Mhm.
in that account, by the time that child is 25, that $10 is more than $50,000.
Mhm. 100%.
And if you start that conversation and that's only investing, and then as some time goes by, you change the type of account that it is, from a savings account to an investment account. It changes the numbers as well. So you give them a head start. I just got a video of the 10 youngest billionaire, and none of them, I don't know how recent the video is, and I think it's this year or 2019, 20. It's recent. I know it's recent, and none of them are black.
Mm.
Mm.
And they
Because we
all
have to change.
self-started, the youngest one being 24 years old.
Mm.
And I speak about this. No, I'm not a billionaire. No, I'm not a millionaire. But were these conversations being had, or if I'm listening to the village, right? If I bring this conversation to the village now, that wasn't brought to me, or you bringing your young people next to it and having these conversations.
Mm.
So now Andre's telling me the youngest billionaire is 18, right? And he's from Germany, right? So the 18, oh, right? So the youngest billionaire is 18 years old. So my question is, what are we doing now to have? I just told you how I'm trying to get my 5 children started. I've made the investment in King Sports, and my wife and I were are you making investment in your child's sports? Are you saying he or she doesn't need that? I can't afford to spend $100 a month, or $400-500 for the year, every year for the next 10 years, to ensure that the child gets a college scholarship in a sport.
No, I mean that's an investment, and
That's an investment. People don't look at it like that.
my investment was in their education, just putting them in
Exactly.
the best schools possible, so they can they can have the best network possible to get that high paying job.
Exactly.
So they can take care of their father.
And you know what? As sad as my thing about children taking to your parents is, you take care of your parents by not leeching off your parents.
Mm.
So once you get old enough, you're supposed to be independent, where you don't rely on your parents financially.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's something. But we have about 25 minutes. We have just so many things going on in the news. One is our good friend, my good friend. I don't know if it's your good friend.
Why you
I'm talking about.
why you say that? I know you're joking.
I'm joking, man.
Oh, okay.
I know you guys. I know you guys have good relations. I'm talking about Donald Trump, by the way.
That's my man.
Yeah, I know. That's Joanne's man. We know that. Right? You got it. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we can't really do the moment of silence on the radio, but think in your mind that we are doing a moment of silence. We lost this week. I'm going to say a stalwart of a person, in Colin Powell.
Mm-hmm.
He died from the complications of COVID, and there are two immediate negative things that came out. One, he's fully vaccinated and he died of COVID. Two, what Donald Trump said about Colin Powell.
What did he say?
So let me address the unvaccinated, vaccinated first. Colin Powell, Secretary of State Powell, died from complication from COVID. He had stage 4 cancer. Let us be clear. We don't know if the vaccination helped him or we hurt him, but we do know that he had cancer. Cancer, ladies and gentlemen, and his age, 84. Those two factors are paramount when you look at the thought that when you say that he is vaccinated and he died of COVID, right? The numbers will tell you whether you want to believe it or not. Mm-hmm. You're 11 times less likely to die from COVID if you have the vaccine. There's a 1 in 26,000 chance, right? There's 1 in 26,000 chance, 0.04%, if you're fully vaccinated, if you'll die from COVID. That's a real number. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's on you. Mm-hmm. But that's a real number. Mm-hmm. As you get older, the percentage or the chances of dying from COVID, even if you're vaccinated, increases. So if you're a good age, it's like 11 times or 0.04%. If you're certain ages, it's 1 in 5. However, you're still safer with the vaccine. So, but if you choose to take it and you do whatever you want, that's on you. I'm not telling you to be vaccinated or not. I'm simply telling you, don't spread false information because you want to prove your point. The second thing is, I don't care if you're Democrat or you're Republican. You are the president, John. Former president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And for you to make a comment like, and I quote, "Wonderful to see Colin Powell, who made big mistakes on Iraq and famously so-called weapon of mass destruction, be treated to death, in death, so beautifully by the fake news. Hope that happens, when that happens to me someday, I will be treated the same." He was a classic rhino, which stands for, I believe,
in name only.
Republican in name only. Can you look at that? You call a dead black man a 4-star general only the second 4-star general in the history of the United States, the youngest Black national security advisor under Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. And even that always being the first Black to first to attack other Republicans. I put in those things that in there. I'm sorry, I didn't finish the quote. And then finally, his last words, he made plenty of mistakes, but anyway, may he rest in peace.
You know what I would tell him with that? May he rest in peace, to go and shove it.
What do you think, audience? Yes, Joanne. I was thinking that. I was thinking something worse.
You know what? This is the problem that we have.
Who's we? Me?
We, us, all of us, the way we react. Were we expecting anything better?
That's not my problem, John.
No. Because you anticipate.
John.
Hold on, let me finish.
Your
anticipation, your expectation is that he should have some civility civility for this individual who was a former Secretary of State, a 4-star general. We just put away,
who was shot.
I understand
multiple times
understand
in war,
to put away,
2 Purple Hearts.
Put away our political differences. You expect this from our former president. It's on you because you expected that. I did not.
My issue, John. 75 million people voted for this guy.
But you know what? One of my friends, she always told me. She says, "When people show you who they are,
believe it.
Believe it." He has shown us who he was when he came down the escalator. We expect everything the former president said he was going to do. He did. He said it before he was elected, and people went out there and voted for him. So you know what? You know what? We dealt with it. We have moved on. Well, his comments doesn't bode well because there's so many more positive comments. We shouldn't get harped on.
But John, my issue, John,
because you expected him to be
no, John.
What then?
No, John.
What is it then?
What's the issue?
What's the issue?
He is the former.
Oh my God, the man talks all the time. All the time.
Your expectation, you expected it.
I want him to be presidential.
Oh, he was never
not to be a sucker.
Oh yeah. Please don't let me go there.
You're right.
That is, I mean, think about that for a second.
Can we move on to?
I don't know. Right.
Can
we have
move
more
on?
important things.
Colin Powell. I'm
sorry. I need some help here, people. I need some help.
We don't want to talk about Donald Trump.
I need some help.
We don't want to talk
because
about
I'm not liking what I am hearing from John and Joanne, from J&J.
That's all right. We
don't like what we hear from Roger
because
we want to big up
Maurice. Thank you. I expect
what
nothing
he has
less
done
from him.
to this country.
And the
a Jamaican
immigrant,
first
generation American
generation. So let's big up.
That is out of order. That is out of order.
Thank you, Mom.
It's always been out of order. What's new?
You heard that? Mom said you nailed it, John.
Yes, I understand about Roger Daley.
Maurice.
Right.
Thank you, Mo.
I understand everybody's comment. Should I expect better?
No.
But what I'm upset about is that the right wing media.
He was
right?
a businessman.
I don't care about that, Maurice. Right? He was a businessman that made it to but Bloomberg was a business that made it to Gracie Mansion and ran for president. And I'm upset that the right wing media just want. Imagine if Ronald Reagan, right? Imagine if Barack Obama, if Donald Trump was to drop dead right now, and the former past president, let's say not Donald Trump, let's say Dick Cheney, and Barack Obama was to make a statement like that.
Oh boy.
What would the right-wing media say?
We don't care
And
about
that's
them
part
right
of my
now.
problem. The
Listen,
lack of
we don't
censorship
care.
of this baloney that is happening, and people can't see. You want to go to the side and curse the Democrats, but you're
Okay.
not willing to say, Donald Trump, what the heck are you saying? What are you doing?
Why are you bringing up your pressure? The man's been like that for all
I'm
this
not just
time.
talking about the man, though, Joanne.
We keep
I'm
moving.
talking about Fox News. I'm
We
talking
already know.
about the
I don't
right
watch
wing
So,
it.
media.
so Roger, what
What
did Fox
bother?
News say about Colin Powell? Did they denigrate Colin Powell?
No, they didn't, but they didn't stop him.
They didn't. How can you going to stop him? Freedom of press.
They could have censored him, and they didn't.
Oh my God, he's gonna create his own station.
Would
like
they
you
have said
said.
something? Would they have said something to you,
Yes.
John, in your former role?
Of course they would have said something.
And they would have
There's no-
trashed you.
But who cares about that? I
Yes,
don't worry about
keep
that.
it moving. Keep
Hogwash.
it moving, my
Exactly.
All
friend.
right, let's move on, because you're right, Joanne. I don't want to bring my blood pressure up.
Blood pressure's already up.
Oh my God, can you believe this crap? My boy, our boy, Nick, has been nominated to be ambassador to Jamaica.
Okay.
He came to Congratulations.
Assemblyman. For the potential nomination, it hasn't been official yet.
Well,
but we know it will become official.
Yeah, right, and he will be, the highest ranking Jamaican in the United States, and actually in Jamaica, because he's basically the tie-in, right, between the two countries.
Okay.
And he brings things to fruition.
Nah, man, you got to give that for the assemblyman. That's a great way to go out.
Yeah,
great way to go out,
and well deserved.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Andre, let's see if we could get him on. Maybe it's too premature. What do you think?
I don't think. Man, see,
We're not doing that now, right?
Yeah, let's see if we can get him. Actually, let's get him on the following week is Somos. Right, the following week is Somos. Let's see if we can get him on next week.
So wait. What are your thoughts about this morning? I was watching the news about all of these unions that's coming together, who are fighting hard in regards to firefighters.
They're gonna lose.
The police department, but
They're
guess
gonna
what?
lose.
No. It's not even losing. About people quickly resigning, rather resign or get fired.
All right,
C'est la vie.
let me explain something to you.
Okay.
The poodle, the Chihuahua, has the most bark. The Chihuahua has the most bark. Remember that. The pit bull doesn't bark. It bites the heck out of you and go right for the throat.
Okay.
Why am I saying that to you?
I don't know.
98% of principals,
We're not talking about principals. We're talking about.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you. 95% of the school system remains intact. So the 5% of the people who are complaining about being unvaccinated and not taking a vaccine.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about.
I'm going back to your point, right? I'm making the point. When I use up the Chihuahua and I use up the education system, because that's what your reference comes from. The people with the most bark doesn't always have the most bite.
Okay.
So therefore, there might be a lot of people leaving. 1,400. So they talk about 1,400
firefighters.
No, 1,400 hospital. What do you call them? Nurses walked off the job.
Northwell.
Yeah. Right, walked off the job. 100,000 plus stayed on the job, but the bark came from the Chihuahua. So at the end of the day, the majority of the police force may be unhappy. Some will take the vaccine begrudgingly.
The $500 that he plans on giving to them to take the vaccine.
I don't care what is the justification for taking it, but I guarantee you that 90% of the force is not going to walk out. I don't even think 10% is going to walk out.
Firefighters?
I don't even think 10% is going to walk out.
Okay, let's see next week.
All right.
So you know what? It is what it is. If they choose to walk out, that's your choice. Like anything else, we'll move on. We'll just meet. That gives more opportunities for other firefighters. hopefully increase the number of minorities who
We
want
will
to
get
become
hired and more black
So you know what?
professionals.
We're,
Hello, Falcons.
you know what?
The Falcons, right? The Falcons.
Every crisis creates an opportunity.
I tell my wife this, and this is what I have number of statements, and this is one of them. One
You know what
man's
my
trash
problem
is
is?
another man's treasure. Huh?
You know what my problem is?
Yeah.
Why use money, $500, to try to motivate these people?
What do you think is more?
Because you know why? You know why
Because
we have to use money?
greed.
Not agree because we are
$500
so gullible to the propaganda that exists from the internet to everything else. You know, we use things that help us bolster our positions in our case. But at the end of the day, it's like anything else. Let me ask you a question. Why do you buy homeowners insurance? Why do you buy insurance? Why do you buy life insurance?
Why do you wear a seatbelt?
But why do you do this?
But the city is paying people a couple $1 billion just to take a vaccine.
Well, it's not a couple $1 billion, but
$1 million.
But remember,
because you're trying to give people incentives, because people are just caught up in misinformation. They do not spend the time
to
read and learn about the impact of the vaccinations. And let me ask you a question. I always say, you got vaccinated. Did you get vaccinated for polio? Did you get vaccinated for the chicken pox? Did you get those vaccinations? I'm asking. Did you get them?
No.
Yes, you did when you were a kid. Yeah, you definitely got them. Don't give me that. Don't tell me that. You got all. We all got them
because we couldn't go to school.
We couldn't go to school without them. But I have an issue. But wait. Hold on. Wait. I want to ask Joanne a question.
Oh God, don't ask me no question.
I am going to ask you.
I don't want to answer.
When you signed your UFT contract,
please don't talk to me about UFT. Please.
No. I'm asking you a question. When you signed it, why did most people sign it? Because they got a major increase in salary. Your salary, the max salary, went immediately.
I don't recall.
From 119 to 128. Right? By the end of the contract, your salary went up $9,000.
Okay, guess what?
And you know what they did, which was very stupid? They gave back things like Brooklyn Queens Day. They had to come. Remember that stupid fiasco where they had to come to school 2 or 3 days earlier until they had to change that. They changed the medical component. So a lot of people were pissed off. About the other thing in the contract, but the contract was passed by 87.5% or 85.7% when the contract came out because of money. So the incentive of the $500 is money. And the stupidness that I heard that people said they were going to do with the money. Oh, I'm going to pay off my bills and put down on my rent. It's $500.
I thought it was $100.
Right? No, there's $100 here and a $500 here. Right?
$500 is for the new city employees that they're trying to get on board.
Right? It really, and people, a lot of people voted for Trump. Why? Because they thought he was a billionaire. Why did they vote for Bloomberg? Because he was a billionaire. So people followed the money. They thought I could have gotten Bloomberg's money. The lady said, I voted for Trump because I thought he was a successful businessman and he could help the country to gain economic wealth.
And then they found out it was fraud.
It was a fraud. It's Fugazi. What's Fugazi? What's the word? Fugazi. It was Fugazi. So sometimes people are very clouded by green. With that being said, I have something controversial.
Most of
You're right, Teresa. Times have changed. That is true. Times have changed.
Even we're either about
to as well.
Oh, look, see what Marie said, and that's true. Just like when people put out the post about how did Colin Powell died? He was fully vaccinated. They didn't put out the whole information that was there.
It's all about control.
Right. So I want to throw something controversial there. I want to move on to another subject, and we have what? We have 10 minutes to discuss it. Right. And something has been bothering me.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
A lot of things have been bothering you.
I watch Dave Chappelle, The Closer.
Oh God.
Did you watch it, John?
No, I didn't get. I don't have.
Oh, you need to watch it. Did you watch it, Joanne?
No,
I
I
know
didn't.
you didn't. I just thought I'd ask you just to ask, but I know you didn't watch it
Wait, why did you say that?
because I know you and I have been friends. I knew you didn't watch it,
Oh,
but
wait.
I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt to prove me wrong.
What?
Right?
It's
Right.
all good. I'm gonna go and watch it just because of that.
Whatever. He made a statement. The transgender community is angry at him
Okay.
for the statement that he made. But he made a statement, one statement. I'm not even addressing what he said, whether it's right or wrong.
Please.
I'm not
No
I'm
trouble.
not here to talk about. And I want to make sure that when I say this controversial statement, I want people to hear what I'm asking. I'm
Okay.
not asking a question about the transgender community and about racial community. And don't do no cancel culture conversation with me.
No.
Right? Why, in my mind, has the LGBTQ community in the last 50 years have made greater segue in America than blacks?
Because of the people in power.
Lie.
No.
Explain.
Because many who are in power are part of that community.
That's so what? So whoa. The New York State Senate and the New York State Assembly, I think, is about 30% black and Latino, and there ain't that many gay people in there.
You don't know.
LGBTQ. I don't know how many they are. Normally, that's not something that you see. It's somebody have to come out and say it. But
Okay.
you definitely can see black and Latino.
Let me.
Right? You have the New York City Council, right? Which the Bronx, we know, is full of Latino and black electeds. Not that you don't have any whites. Brooklyn, I believe, would be the second most, right? Outside of Bronx with minority legislators. And then you have, I think, Queens and Staten Island is last, right? The Congress people from Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx are primarily minorities and people of color. So don't say that they have people in power.
Power and money, two things together.
So why is it? I guess it might go back to what John said. They keep the money within the community and we don't. I don't know, but that bothers me. 400 years of slavery, 1865 to 2000, that's 135 years, and then 21 more years after that. So 156 years out of slavery. Plus.
Discrimination is discrimination.
But people discriminate against the LGBT community.
Right. And people are
if you ask a person who lives in that community, they will tell you that they receive actually, think about this in school. If you call a black person the N-word, and that's why I hate when black call other blacks the N-word. Right? I hate when other blacks call the other blacks the N-word. It says it's a term of endearment. If you call a one black person or a white person, if you call a black person an N-word, anybody calls it, yeah, it might have an effect. You might be insulted.
Mm-hmm.
But call a person from the LGBT community out of your name.
Man,
and the results of what?
You know what? Let's
talk about that. It's important for us to talk about that.
You know, let's cut to the chase on this. It is the monetary and political power that they extend to change people's positions and ideologies. We have grown, we have developed, but at the end of the day,
who's we?
The LGBT community. You know what? It's like any other groups, but they are persistent in what they believe in. They are persistent in what they believe in, and they will do what is necessary.
And they don't change.
They are consistent.
And
not only persistent, but consistent in advocating for themselves until
That's true.
changes are made.
And that's
Sometimes you have to stand up to them and you have to push back, but it's all about the evolution and evolving regarding their issues. Same
and
thing that
accepting.
we do, same
Right.
thing that all other communities do. But we as people of color, we tend to always be lackadaisical when it comes to pushing the issues that really matter to our communities. If we are consistent, and you know what? They use their political power because they use their money in a resourceful way in order to promote their ideologies and their beliefs. They are persistent and consistent, which we are not.
You know, one of the things I always tell an elected official, right? I really, I talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Roderick Daly.
We know that.
So right? I'm known by what? Let's say 10 people for argument's sake.
11. I give you 11.
Right. 11. When I'm meeting with John, I'm meeting John with 11 people. Because I know that I'm going to tell John that those 11 people will be or will not be voting for you.
Right.
If I'm putting a fundraiser on for John, those 11 people are going to come.
Right.
That's $1,000 in if city council is 8-1, so that $1,000 is actually $9,000, right? And that money matters.
Right.
Why is it that we people of color we don't get involved in the primaries? We normally vote for this highfalutin mayor, governor, president. And we vote so far removed from us. Like if you ask the average person, when was the last time you saw Chuck Schumer?
See Chuck Schumer every Sunday.
No, when there was the last time you see Chuck Schumer? There you go. When was the last time? Well, no, you don't see him every Sunday.
I see him on Sunday when he does his press briefings.
Again,
always somewhere in the neighborhood.
Again.
Right.
When was the last time you saw Bill de Blasio?
Last time I saw Bill de Blasio.
I could tell you exactly when I saw him. Like, well, I saw him the last 2 times I saw him. One, he was at my birthday party, and 2, he was at I went to the endorsement for Harold Miller.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I saw him twice. But people would rather vote for the mayor. They go to the general election.
Right.
Now, when was the last time I saw Nick Perry? Nick Perry's office is on Utica Avenue and between Church and Snyder.
Right.
You want an appointment, go meet him.
Right.
You want an appointment to go see Chuck Schumer?
Right.
Go ahead and make it.
You can make an appointment.
Yeah, you can, but go ahead and make it. We've called Chuck Schumer's office. Oh no, I'm gonna blow him up. I've called Chuck Schumer's office since January 6th.
Are you upset?
Oh, I'm upset about that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
No, wait. I'm not saying that for that
Over
reason.
it.
I'm not
Get
saying no. I'm not blowing him up for that reason. Right, but it doesn't matter because he wasn't coming anyway. Right. So we've spoken to him since the insurrection, and his staff has not even called back. Maybe he doesn't even know that. Mayor de Blasio, who I know, we're acquaintances. I call his office since August, and his press person's blocking. But I called Germani. Germani's here. I call Kevin. Kevin is here. But people don't want to look at the primary level. I call Yvette. Yvette is here. At the primary level, and people don't want to vote at the primary level. They don't want to make their vote counts where it matters. But they rather go off and say, I'm going to vote for the governor Andrew Cuomo.
Well, you know what, Roderick, there's.
But guess who gets to meet the governor?
But
guess who gets to meet the governor? The person that has the pack, that has the people behind them, and that's one thing that I'm very proud of the LGBT community for that.
But that's true. But you know what, to speak in favor of Chuck Schumer,
I'm not
he's
out there. I'm not saying he's not out there.
But at the same time, he is in the community.
He may
not when you call him, he may not get him, right. But Chuck Schumer is in the community.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that.
He's in the community. These elected officials, you got a lot of things going on. It's just like, I have friends who are elected officials. I call them. I don't hear from them, but I understand they're busy. They do what they want to do. They have to do what they. I mean,
I'm not. No, John. I'm not arguing that though. That's not what I'm arguing.
Okay.
The point that I'm arguing is we don't one of the things is I don't believe in politics, right? I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in politics. I don't get to that level, but I'm jumping out there to go vote for the president of the United States. Whereas the LGBT community, they get out there and they vote in droves. They
You can't say that.
I know that. I know that factual.
You know what? Look what happened to South Carolina for Biden. The
co-
people of color, black, but minority people got out there and voted for him. Look at Atlanta. What happened in Atlanta?
Because there at that point there was a cause.
You know. Like, you cut me off, man. This is what he do. This is what he does. This is what he does.
I didn't cut
The
you off.
villagers, this is what he
I
does.
can hear you. His
I
headset.
What he does.
He can't hear
Cuts us
himself.
off.
People, he loves himself so much he can't hear himself. That's what he's complaining about.
He cuts us off.
Right?
You hear that?
But but I think that we can do better. And I think that we need
So
to.
that's why we're on the village, brother, because we know we can do better.
But how do we get? I was thinking about this. Like, we had a couple shows that had some great views, and thank you, villagers. We really appreciate that and want that views to continue. But a show like today, like I looked at it, and as the ladies were talking, right? And obviously we talk about data. So you look at that. Certain topics we fall asleep on. Oh, that topic's not interesting. But certain topics generate a lot more conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certain things that I don't want to use the word, I'm not going to use that word, Andre. I hear you though, right? The energy from the guests or whatever might slow down people, but you have to learn to listen to the information. We talk about social injustices, and what Harold was talking about last week is paramount, because there are systemic issues why what Denise today was talking about is not getting through.
True.
Right? They go together. Why is it easier that you go to the bank and you can't get a loan? Yo, I walk in with my 750 credit and I want a loan to open a business. They want to know what else I got.
Of course, I would want to know you too.
Right? What another community? What I'm talking about? Another community walk in with the same credit, don't look like me, or don't act like me. The conversation is not the same.
Because you're going to the wrong bank,
That's
brother.
not true,
you
my
go
brother.
to the wrong bank.
All right, you tell me.
That's
the bank.
why. That's
Villagers,
why there's credit.
let John Sampson. What bank? What bank? Tell us the bank.
Banco Popular.
Banco Popular. All right, I go there. What else?
Okay. Banco Popular.
You just said that once.
Banco Popular.
Oh, you keep insisting on Banco Popular.
You go Harlem, the bank.
You talk about the credit union, which we're not calling.
Definitely.
I hate MCU right now. I'm so hating on MCU.
You hate MCU.
Right.
Carver Bank.
MCU I hate because I have a love-hate relationship with MCU.
Oh God.
No, it's love-hate because
today's the day to vent. My goodness.
I'm not
on that note.
It's love-hate.
It's
MCU offers, and I'm telling everybody out there, get an MCU account. Right? Get an MCU account because that's important.
All right.
My love-hate relationship is the customer service. Their customer service.
That's a lot of banks. A lot of banks.
Not like MCU.
Yeah.
MCU stink.
Well, you know what?
You can't even walk into MCU and get an appointment. You got to call, and then there's a 2-hour wait.
On that note.
Yes. Villagers.
Right, so what you saying? What you saying?
Stop wrap up.
Yes, it is time. It is about that time.
It's about that time to celebrate it with success.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening, watching, viewing, hearing, joining us today on The Village.
Success.
It's all about the community, helping. We're dedicated to the community.
Success.
Right? We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life
and success
through education.
And success.
Helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. And John?
And success is not just spoken, it is done.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Peace out. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. God bless.
And make sure to support our guests. We have the Black Film Festival this weekend.
Yes.
We have the Black Professional,
Black Professionals,
and we have our author
Eric Adams for mayor.
Erica,
early voting.
You can say it. Early voting.
Early
We
voting.
definitely can say early voting.
Eric Adams for
We
mayor.
can say early voting.
Early voters. Eric Adams for mayor.
Andre's book, Transcending, what's it?
Time Transcendence.
Time
So
Transcendence.
big up to Andre.
Our author in the studio.
Big up, Andre.
Right.
Make sure you give me a free book, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Olivia Almagro, my aunt, wrote a book. Rhea Rodney, Derek Reeves out there. Support our guests. Let them know that you're listening. Build that library. That library is so vital. Thank you, everyone. And good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.